Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into a movie that's got more buzz than a beehive?
I'm ready. What do we got?
Today, we're looking at something a little different, something unexpected.
Yeah.
We're diving into the world of Bee Movie. You know, that animated flick with Jerry Seinfeld as a talking bee, but not just for the laughs.
Right.
We're going to explore some surprisingly deep connections between this animated comedy and the Russian Revolution of 1917.
Whoa, hold on. A kid's movie and the Russian Revolution? Those seem like...
Well, stick with me on this one because things are about to get buzzworthy.
All right, I am ready.
So the movie follows Barry B. Benson, our bee protagonist. He graduates college and quickly realizes he's stuck.
Stuck how?
Stuck in the hive, doing the same honey-making routine for life. Sound familiar?
Yeah, I see where you're going with this. It's kind of like pre-revolution Russia. People stuck in their social classes, very few chances to move up.
Exactly. And feeling trapped like that, well, that's what sparks Barry's journey, just like it did for many Russians back then. So Barry's not content with just making honey, right? He wants something more.
So he goes off to join the pollen jocks.
Right. Those are like the bee world's elite adventurers gathering pollen from the outside world.
Oh, and that's when he stumbles upon the humans exploiting the bees, taking all their honey.
Barry comes back with a mission to fight back.
To take on the entire human race.
He rallies the whole bee community and launches a lawsuit against humans for stealing their honey. But here's the question.
Okay.
Could Barry B. Benson actually be considered a modern-day Vladimir Lenin?
It is a provocative comparison.
Yeah.
Both figures certainly share some key traits. You know, they challenge oppressive systems, they rally their respective proletariats, and ultimately they bring about this significant societal change, albeit through very different means.
That supermarket scene, with rows and rows of honey jars, is Barry's big wake-up call. It's his aha moment, like Lenin's exile, where he developed his revolutionary ideas.
I see the connection. Both of them go through this experience that changes their whole perspective.
What's fascinating about Bee Movie is how it takes this like seemingly lighthearted premise and kind of weaves in this like subtle social commentary.
Yeah.
You know? Underneath the humor, there are some like thought-provoking parallels to historical events.
Barry sees firsthand how humans are exploiting bees for their honey.
Yes.
They're profiting off of their labor with no regard for their well-being.
He realizes the whole system is rigged against the bees.
Yeah.
And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Barry, fueled by this newfound awareness, decides to sue the human race for stealing honey.
What?
He becomes this unexpected revolutionary leader.
Wow.
He's rallying his fellow bees to fight for their rights.
And this is where, like, the comparisons to Lenin become even more striking.
Right.
Both Barry and Lenin, they emerge as these charismatic leaders who are able to articulate the grievances of the working class, whether they be bees or humans, and they inspire this collective action, you know, challenging the established power structures of their time.
So if Barry is our Lenin,
Okay.
who would be his Trotsky?
Ooh.
I'm picturing Adam Flayman filling that role.
That's a clever observation.
Yeah.
Trotsky, alongside Lenin, was like this key strategist and leader of the Russian Revolution.
Right.
And in the film, Adam is initially like a staunch supporter of Barry's cause. But as the revolution kind of progresses, he starts to have his doubts. You remember his line?
Yeah.
What if Montgomery's right?
Yes. He starts to question like the direction that Barry's taking things.
Exactly.
Much like Trotsky's later disagreements with Stalin.
It highlights the complexities and the internal tensions that can arise even within revolutionary movements.
Yeah.
Not everyone agrees on the best path forward, even when they share the same ultimate goals.
And speaking of goals,
Okay.
both revelations kind of experience these unexpected consequences.
Right.
After winning the lawsuit, the bees find themselves in control of all the honey,
Oh, wow.
but their victory quickly turns sour.
The flowers start to wilt because the bees, they've stopped pollinating.
Right.
The ecosystem, it starts to collapse.
Yeah.
It's a clear parallel to the challenges faced by the Soviet Union in its early years.
Yeah.
The sudden shift in power,
Right.
while intended to benefit the workers, led to these unforeseen economic and social issues.
Like they say, be careful what you wish for.
Right.
So we've got our Lenin, we've got our Trotsky,
Okay.
we've even got a taste of the Soviet Union's early struggles. But what happens next in this bee-evolution? Could this new power dynamic create a beetopia or a beetastrophe?
Ooh.
Let's find out. So the bees, they won their court case.
Yeah.
They control all the honey production, and everyone stopped working.
Wow.
The total shakeup of their society.
Yeah.
Could this be the start of, like, a bee version of the Soviet Union? Complete with, like, centralized control and all the potential pitfalls.
It is tempting to draw a direct comparison.
Yeah.
We see the bees establishing this kind of honeyocracy.
Right.
Where all the honey is collected and redistributed. There's a sense of like a centralized authority.
Yeah.
Controlling the means of production, much like the Soviet system.
And remember how they basically create like a bee police force?
Oh, yeah.
The alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and honey task force?
Right, the ATF&H.
ATF&H?
Yeah.
They're cracking down on any, like, perceived violations of their new order.
That's a brilliant satirical touch.
Yeah.
It highlights how revolutions can sometimes lead to the creation of new, perhaps even more rigid power structures.
It's like, hey, we fought for freedom, but now you have to follow our rules.
Right.
Not exactly the utopia Barry envisioned.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It raises all these important questions about, like, the balance between individual liberty and collective good,
right.
A theme that's often at the heart of revolutionary movements.
And speaking of overreach,
Okay.
remember when they went after Sting, the musician?
Oh, yeah, what was that about again?
Just because he used the word Sting in his stage name?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
That scene is hilarious.
It is.
But it also speaks to the potential for revolutions to become fixated on symbols and semantics.
Right.
It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of losing sight of the bigger picture.
It's like, sure, the honey issue was huge, but let's not forget about Sting. Priorities bees priorities.
Right.
But in all seriousness, the film doesn't shy away from showing the downsides of the bees of victory.
Right.
The ecosystem starts to fall apart, and even the bees themselves seem to lose their sense of purpose.
This ecological crisis is crucial to the film's message.
Yeah.
It mirrors the unintended consequences of rapid social and economic transformations.
Right.
It reminds us that even well-intentioned revolutions can have these unforeseen ripple effects.
It's a reminder that everything's connected.
Yeah.
You can't just disrupt one part of the system without impacting the whole.
Precisely. And this is where the film's comparison to the Russian Revolution becomes even more nuanced.
Oh.
Both revolutions, while driven by these noble ideals, ultimately had to grapple with the complexities of governing and the challenges of creating a truly just and sustainable society.
So it seems like both Barry's bee revolution and the Russian Revolution, they face some pretty big hurdles. Could things have gone differently? Could Barry have achieved his goals without causing, all this ecological chaos?
That's the question the film kind of leaves us pondering. It definitely highlights the complexities of making big changes. But hey, enough about revolutions. Want to shift gears to a different kind of battle?
I'm all for a little fun. What did you have in mind?
Let's imagine a showdown between Barry B. Benson and another famous insect. Flick the Ant from A Bug's Life. Who would win in the ultimate bug battle?
Oh, now you're talking. On one side, we've got Barry, the bee. He can fly, has that stinger, and understands the human world.
He's got some serious advantages. But Barry can also be a little naive, right? Remember when he was tricked by that mosquito in the honey industry?
You're right, he can be a little too trusting sometimes. Plus, that stinger. One-time use only. It's a high-risk, high-reward kind of weapon.
He better make that one shot count. But what about Flick? No stinger or wings, does that put him at a disadvantage?
It seems like it. But Flick's all about brains over brawn. He's a master strategist. Remember how he rallied his ant colony against those grasshoppers?
And let's not forget his incredible inventions, like that grain-picking contraption. Maybe he could cook up something to take down a bee.
This is getting good.
Yeah.
So it's Barry with his flight and sting versus Flick with his strategic mind and inventions. This is going to be epic.
It really is. But let's not forget those weaknesses. Barry, well, he can be a little impulsive, maybe a bit too quick to jump into action without a plan.
That's true. He's definitely got that go-getter energy. But maybe thinking things through isn't his strong suit.
Right. And what about Flick? He might not have those natural weapons, but he's got something else.
What's that?
Teamwork. He knows how to get things done by working with the whole colony.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. What if Flick comes up with a plan to, totally swarm Barry? Could they take him down in midair?
Now that's an interesting question. It wouldn't be easy. Barry's pretty agile up there.
Yeah, he's a fast flyer.
But picture this. Flick uses his ingenuity to create a trap, maybe like a sticky web made from sap, or even an ant ladder to reach Barry.
I can totally see it. A whole army of ants taking down the mighty bee. Talk about an underdog story.
And knowing Flick, he'd have some other tricks up his sleeve, too. Remember that grain picker? Maybe he invents a tiny catapult to launch stuff at Barry.
Wow. This battle is getting more and more epic by the minute. It really could go either way. We hope you enjoyed this journey into the surprising world of B-Movie.
Finding solutions that benefit the collective good, it requires careful consideration, collaboration, and a dope understanding of the complex systems we're all a part of.
So the next time you enjoy a spoonful of honey, take a moment to appreciate the bees and their incredible work.
Yeah.
And remember, like Barry B. Benson, we all have the power to make a difference in the world.
We do.
But choosing the right path is crucial.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into B-Movie and the Russian Revolution. It's been a fascinating exploration of power revolution and the pursuit of a more just and sustainable world.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep those minds buzzing.